All right. I don't really have anything new to speak of. This will be OTA number 5, so we'll finish up the week tomorrow. But we're baby steps right now. So we progress a little bit every day, get a little bit better, and that's kind of where we're at. Mm-hmm. No, I mean we'll have another situation at the end of practice, or actually the end of team again, just like we did last week. We that was the first day that we had done that last week, and then we've done it every day since. So we kind of started it there, and that was the plan. Is every day we'll end the team period with something situationally 2-minute in the game, in the half. Red zone once we get to red zone. So yeah, we'll do that again.
I know you have said multiple times that there is no definitive timetable for your injured guys, but with Jeff out there doing some of the walkthrough elements and just seeing some of his movement skills behind the scenes, how encouraged are you by the rehab process for him?
Yeah, I would say this. I'm very encouraged with. We know the surgery went well, and just the rehab process. Like I feel really good about this. Just where he's come, and where the injury's at. I feel like he's right where he needs to be. And I would say in some regards that's the least of my concerns is the Achilles, and that's a good thing.
I know we see this all the time in sports, right? Like Tommy John surgery, before that was invented, that injury was a career ender in baseball, or ACL, 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When you were playing, like Achilles was devastating. What have you learned as you've got 2 guys kind of going through the rehab process right now, just about maybe the medical advancements on that particular injury?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. There's so many things that it's fascinating to see where medicine has come, just even since I played, to your point. And then it's also, you step back sometimes and you're like, you mean we haven't advanced that far on this? But yes, the Achilles, my gosh, it was considered a career ender, and now you see some guys that are back, 5 months. I mean, you saw what happened with the Rams last year, and it's amazing. So that's a good thing. That's a good sign. Guys can bounce back from that, and I think honestly, it's there's. I think almost the scary thing with some of those sometimes is, does it really take? Because sometimes. Depending on if it's a cadaver, does your body take it? Does it reject it? If you're repairing your own tissue, is there enough there? Did you rehab it properly? Did you push it too much early? Did it, and so just your body accepts it and you give it time to heal, you ought to be pretty good. I'm not a doctor either, by the way, so let me make sure that, all right.
How much do you guys invest in the mental aspect, though? I know the physical aspect is huge, but just like making sure he's right mentally to not, even though his body may perform that way,
Mm-hmm.
but how seriously do you guys take that as well in this process?
That's for him. That's the biggest thing right now. We're not worried about Jeff's movement skills. Like, he's going to be able to move. I mean, you watch him with his footwork and the things he's doing. He can do all that. And so that is real important right now, is just continue his growth mentally, and him to be able to get the walk-through reps. And then, just to get the film study, those things are big for him right now. So it's good to have him here, have him available to do that. And, when the time's right to go full speed, when we get him in camp, he'll be ready.
Save the last line of questioning, just because, he was a guy that I think, he had kind of a rough rookie year, and everybody expected big things from him last year, and it happened so early. Like, how did you see him attack that during the season and stay engaged and, to get ready for sort of what's coming up now?
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. I mean, that's not easy, and it's not easy to do when he really had progressed and he worked himself through camp and got a little bit better, and really before the injury, he made a couple of plays before that to where he bounced back in the game, and then that happens, and it's that's not an easy thing to do, you know. And then he was hurt the year prior, and so, but he got it fixed. He attacked the surgery, the rehab. You know, he was up here plenty. We saw a lot of him. He wanted to be around, and so he'd be up here and watching tape with the guys. He'd be in meetings. Sometimes he'd come out to practice or scoot out there, you know. And so he was still engaged, wanted to be around, and look, he did a pretty good job with it. I mean, there again, it's not easy. It's a hard thing to do, but it's better than just totally disengaging and being away from it, and I don't think that's great for you either. So.
Last week we saw Ben was handling the offense more. Are you any closer to making a decision on who's going to be calling plays?
No, I'm really not. I mean, I don't. To be honest with you, I think it'll be hard to make that decision until the season's almost here, you know. And I'm going to let it go as it goes, and I want to be able to coach the team right now and let him handle the offense, and that way I can keep my eyes on our players and what we're doing on offense, defense, and special teams. And so that's what I'm trying to focus on right now. We'll just kind of take it as it comes.
What do you need to see out of Ben that would convince you that he's the guy you have full confidence in?
Well, I would say this: if the first preseason game, if we put up 85 points, I'm going to name him right there when we walk off the field, Carlos. Well, 84 might do it too. No, I think just look. I don't want to. I'm really not even worried about it right now, to be honest with you. I just want to take it as it comes and see how he goes with it, you know, and you know, see how he handles running the offense, doing what I need to have done on my end, and kind of my viewpoint, and see how the quarterbacks are, and just everything, and then go from there, you know. And I'm kind of a, you know, I think you guys know this. I'm a gut guy, so I'm going to trust my gut to make that decision when the time's right.
With the influx of players, draft picks, free agents, and everything else, do you already see an increased level of competition even just now in these camps? Can you see the upgrade in every way?
Yeah, the competition's better right now, and I think what's hard. Yes, and I would say that here's what I do know, that we're from a year ago to where we're at now. We're better. We're better at what we're doing. The energy's better. The competition is better. Now, what's still hard this time of year is you can't push it like you want to. You know, that's the rules are set in such a way to where it can't be competitive to an extent. You know, the physical side of the game, you can't practice that way. Until you get into camp, training camp, pads, all that stuff. So right now it's got to be much more finesse and your movement skills and those things. And so inside of those parameters, we try to make it as competitive as possible. But to what you asked, yes, it is. I mean, it's better.
Earlier this offseason, you called Will Harris a safety.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got Afatu kind of doing some of the same stuff, safety and cornerback. As you did maybe the self-scout on him with AG, like what did you see in Melifonu's skill set that made you want to try him in that role?
Yeah, he's got length and he's got some range and ball skills. He's a smart guy. So he's got a pretty good grasp of the defense, you know. Now, doesn't mean he needs experience like all the young guys do, but when you just talk about the X's and O's and what we're trying to get done, and you're talking before you get out on the field, he's got a real good grasp. And he does have some instincts about him. And so it was just something we felt like, let's give this guy a look. If we don't do it now, you may not end up doing it. And the more that we can figure out about our players, the better off we are, And I think that only helps us. It's just like we talked about with Will. The more guys you have that have versatility, flexibility inside your scheme, man, it really helps you. It helps you a ton. So Yeah, we're giving it a go, and look, he's open-minded to it. He's been great, and he's the first one that'll tell you he's all for it. I mean, he's excited about it, but he wants to make sure he's still getting his corner reps too. So which we've done both with.
You talked about this last week with Julian, maybe playing a little bit different role, and then obviously last year with Godwin, something far more dramatic, flipping to running back. Is there any other guys you're looking at as maybe doing something different offensively or defensively this season?
I wouldn't say right now. No, I wouldn't say that right now. Of course, it's still early, so we'll see where it goes.
Amon-Ra a couple weeks ago, and he said there's very little carryover from last year's offense to this year's offense.
Mm-hmm.
We've already talked about some philosophical changes on defense. I'm wondering if there's anything philosophically different about the offense going into this year.
No, I would say that just probably more style than anything is going to be much more what you saw the back half of the year. The difference will be verbiage and the ability to change our tempo. Those would be the big things. But as far as, look, we're still about running the football, play action pass, and we hang our hat on that stuff. But other than what I just told you, that'll be the change, you know.
With Hopkinson, obviously injuries were a factor last year, but how far away do you think he is from his ceiling as a player? Are you looking for that next week?
Yeah, I think that here's the beauty of Hawkinson. I've said this before: is he's a willing blocker that has the ability to win a one-on-one matchup in the pass game, and then so when you have that ability and you're willing to get in there and mix it up in the run game, that's a good thing. Those guys aren't always easy to find. So, and so with that, I think. And he'll tell you that too, is that he's still got room to grow even in there in the run blocking for us. And I think he takes that next step, on top of continue to improve in the pass game. I think he still has more room to grow.
Can he become one of those big play tight ends that are all the rage now in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing is I look at it as, what do we ask him to do, and can he win? When we ask him to win, can he win? Because I think sometimes, when you start thinking about Kelsey and Waller, and man, there's a lot of Kyle Pitts. For a long time, some of those guys are the showcase guy, and I think what we want is we want TJ to just go out and win and do what he does. Third down, criticals, when you need it, when your time's called, because we've got St. Brown, we got Shark, Williams will come along, we got Reynolds, we got Swift, and so he's a piece of the puzzle, and when his number's called, we know he's going to win, and that's a comforting feeling.
One more on Hawkinson.
Charles Harris kind of fit into that, philosophy of that versatility you talk about. He's coming off a career year, coming off the end, maybe looking at some linebacker snaps as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, look, Charles, we were talking about Charles the other day in the team room, and what a great story he was. I mean, the fact this time last year, he's out here running with the threes, out there with the 3 zone, second field. He's doing all the special teams reps, holding bags, he's just like he started all over again and didn't bat an eye either. Just worked and worked himself into to making some money and coming back with a team that gave him a shot. And in return, he gave us a shot to sign him back. So that's what you want in guys. And so with that, he was really outside linebacker, third down defensive end, or our sub defensive end. And so, look, he's really more in what we're doing now. He's that defensive end mold, but yet we know if we had to have it, he'd go out there and play Sam linebacker. I mean, because he was really one of our OLBs last year. So he has that ability. He's a good enough athlete. He's, he's certainly smart enough. So, and just from what he's able to do athletically, he's got internal rush to him as well. Like he can line up inside, he can twist back inside, he can beat a guard, he can beat a center, he can beat a tackle. And so there's value in that versatility for sure.
Yeah,
just one more on Hawkinson. I mean, you alluded to the sort of the depth that's in the pass catching rooms now, and I guess time goes pretty quickly. He's one of the senior guys in those room. What do you look to him for when you trust him to win? How about as a leader and sort of showing some of these new guys who are coming in? What about that do you like that he can bring?
Yeah, I any of these guys that we've had that have played a little bit in this league, and because he's not a young guy anymore. He's not a pup. As you know, you want him to set the tone for everybody else, and this is the way we do things. This is how you walk through. This is how you everything, man. All the little details, and so yeah, we expect that from him, and I would say he takes that stuff serious.
Just since for next week again, mini camp's coming up. We're closing in on the end of the off season here. Program that is. What have you accomplished so far? What do you have left to do next week? I guess that I guess you want to come out of that week having.
Yeah, I think that we're trying to hit. I think we're trying to hit the really the bulk of our situations. Obviously you're hitting base. We're in third down right now. We'll hit red zone tomorrow and next week. 2 minutes. We're already doing some of this stuff, and so just really, we're not going to worry about goal line or short yards, but just get in what you're going to live in most of the season, the criticals, and just get a good baseline for all that. Get us a good foundation. Feel good about it, and develop the young guys. Just kind of get the vets to where they knock some of the rust off. They know what we're trying to do, and then see if we can start building to develop the young guys. Get that crew from last year a little bit better. Get these rookies a little bit better, and so that when we put pads on in training camp, we're not starting over from scratch. Okay.
Thanks,